Hello, guys. This is Lydia, the lifestyle coach, ending eating disorders. And that is binge eating, bulimia, overeating, food obsession, body hate, emotional eating, stress eating, all the relationships with food that are feel crazy, messed up, disordered, keeping us from really living the lives that we want to. And that's exactly what we're ending here, using nothing but our brain. And what we are doing today, hi guys, so fun to see you on. Feel free to likes and hearts and all that jazz. So wonderful to see you here. Pop in with any sort of questions or your experiences. We have a really amazing community here. So hi, it's so fun to see you guys on. All right, so this is the next part in our series of if you think it's blank, then this is what you need to know. One issue with this ongoing journey of trying to, end your eating disorder or even manage it, a lot of times it's not even that people are saying, like in traditional wisdom, that you can end your eating disorder. It's just like, well, this is just who you are and this is how you're broken and you're just going to be this way for the rest of your life. Oh, hi, so fun to see you guys. And we completely reject that. One, because we've seen the opposite hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, like women all over the world and men who don't have an eating disorder anymore. Because you get an eating disorder and then you can end an eating disorder using nothing but your brain. You can make it stop forever. So it's not a struggle anymore. And it doesn't have to take a long time. But one really big problem that we are addressing head on with this series is that there are so many things out there that purport to make it better that actually make it worse. The majority of solutions, I'm going to put that in quotes, to manage an eating disorder or to have recovery actually fuel the fire of the eating disorder, actually make it worse. And this is why we start thinking that there's something wrong with us, because the harder that we try, the worse our eating gets, even when we feel like we know more. And a big issue there is that most of the things that we think that we should try are the very poison that got us sick in the first place. And so with this series, we're addressing this head on, one by one, of the things that do and don't work, the good, the bad, the ineffective, the effective, of all of the different solutions. And this is a very popular one that I want to help you guys be really clear on today. So this part of the series, if you think it's about making it click, then this is what you need to know. And when we talk about making it click, it's this idea of, well, I know what to do, or I'm so close. I just need that one piece of information. I just need to have the last missing piece click in place, and then I'll be done. And it's this ongoing search. So really, this is how it happens. I mean, we start feeling like we're almost there, right? Like maybe we have a day where we didn't binge, or maybe we feel a little bit better one day, or maybe we have a streak where we sort of white knuckle it through, and then we're frustrated that it happens again, but we feel like we're getting closer, right? So we feel like, okay, we're almost there. There's just one missing piece. All right, where can I find that missing piece? Well, we're going to go and we're going to listen to another podcast. We're going to listen to another video. We're going to read another book. We're going to talk to another person. We're going to, hear another story. And we just feel like it's going to be like the one thing, like the one thing that we need to have in place, because we feel like, okay, things are getting better, because we have this sort of optimism. Hi guys, so fun to see you guys on. Oh man, this is so great. It's a party. Feel free to just keep commenting and saying hello. It's so fun. Hi, hi, hi. All right, beautiful. So we get this feeling of hope because that helps us to sort of get through the next day. So the cycle is, it's like we binge the night before, we wake up the next morning and we feel hopeful, like today is a new day, today is going to be different, today is going to be, a fresh new start. I'm not going to binge today, but I'm going to dive in and I'm going to find that missing piece so I can really make it stick this time. And the issue is that we live in a world that has infinite and abundant free information. So we can just keep on going in this pattern. And we think, oh, okay, we know what to do. We just need to have that missing piece to make it click. And then you start seeing all the other people that it just clicked for and are now fine, right? It's like, oh, I just knew this one thing and now I'm done. And we start gathering evidence of all these people that just found something that made it click and, now they're free. And you guys, this happened to me for years. I wasted years having an eating disorder because I thought that this was the thing. Like I thought that, man, I'm capable, like I know what to do, I'm a problem solver, I'm just going to get the information that I need and I am going to make it all click together. And so I would read book after book and article after article, and I would have a feeling like something clicked. Like I would have this feeling of like, oh, okay, this is it. So an example is, one day, and I just felt so just like, guided to this. And this is, the answer from the universe. I was at somebody else's house. I was waiting for something. I picked up some yoga article that they had on the table. And it was this article about how if we're overeating, it's just because we're not trusting the universe to provide for us. It's just a scarcity mentality. And I had the feeling of like it clicked. Like I knew it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my answer. Like, I'm just not trusting that there's, enough abundance. Like it was like a almost spiritual experience of like, I found it. I found the thing to make it click. Like I found the information that I need. I'm so glad that my hours of podcasts and books and all of this finally paid off. And the 10 free ebooks that I read, I'm so glad this finally paid off because now it clicked. Like I understand it. Like I feel this was just a lack of trust all along. And I have that piece of information that makes it click. And then in the moment, that night, when I felt totally taken over and hijacked and everyone else was in bed and I'm on this high of like, oh, well, I have the information that made it click. And people should be able to have peanut butter. And I'm hungry and peanut butter is healthy. So I get out the jar of peanut butter and I'm like, I'm just going to trust the universe that there's abundance. And I'm, just like, I have this information now that feels so good. And I binged. And I binged and I binged and I binged. And I ate so much peanut butter that I was in pain and I was sick. And then it made it feel even worse. Because I knew now, right? Like I knew and I had this information and it all clicked in my mind and I had this experience. And in the face of that, in the moment, it didn't matter. And I turned against it and it went right back into it again. And so it sends us back on this journey of like, okay, well, then I've just got to find the real thing that's going to make it click. Maybe that wasn't it. And so we go on these highs and these lows of like, all right, I'm going to find this missing piece of information and there's some key waiting for me and some, this like 10th ebook that I have saved on my computer. As soon as I get through that, oh, wow, like that's going to be the thing. And all along the way, we have this growing knowledge, right? Now, oh, we know it's about, abundance. And oh, now we know it's about, triggers. And oh, now we know it's about emotional problems. And now we know it's about lack of trust. And now we know it's about nutrition. And now we know it's about physical things. And now we know it's about relationships. And now we know it's actually about, hormones. And with all of the information that we're ingesting, there's more and more. In this search of this missing piece, there's more and more that we've learned. So then every time that we go back into our eating disorder and every time that we binge or overeat or obsess again or miss an event because we don't have anything to wear or aren't present with our families and are guilting ourselves because we're missing our children's childhoods because we just want to rush them to bed so that we can eat food on our own, the more knowledge that you get, the worse your eating disorder gets and the worse you feel about your eating disorder because now you know so much more. And this is the problem with chasing the end of the rainbow of trying to make it click. Because if you're depending on some piece of information to change and transform everything all at once, you can do that for the rest of your life and never fix your eating disorder. We have had women come to us that have said, you know what, like, I know so much. Like, I could write my own book on ending an eating disorder and being in recovery. And it doesn't change things in the moment. In the moment, when I really feel like I want to eat the rest of this container of chips or the rest of this container of yogurt or the rest of this bag of cookies or, just got to eat all this to get it out of the house, in that moment, nothing that I know intellectually seems to matter. And we've had women come to us. There's one woman that after 29 years, she said, I'm either going to get the help that I need to really have the skill to end this, or I'm going to live in an eating disorder for the rest of my life. For 29 years, every day, because she was a capable woman who had done so much in her life that really, truly believed that she could fix her problem on her own, spent 29 years of her life every single day learning more and making the problem worse along the way. And she had gained 100 pounds during that time, finding that one thing to make it click. And every single time that we find this magic piece of information that we feel so good about, and then we turn against that with another binge, it just makes the pattern stronger, and it makes the habit more reinforced, and it sends a stronger message to yourself that you failed again. And there is a point for everyone where we lose hope. And it is so important to be able to end the problem all the way before the failures of all the things that made it click, and then all the times that you went back to your eating disorder anyway, stack so high that you're not looking for a solution anymore. And you're just in a place of owning that you're just going to be this way for the rest of your life. There are plenty of women that die from eating disorders. There are plenty of women that come to us in their 60s and their 70s that simply want to be able to fix this problem or see it get better before they die. And their entire lives were defined by this endless search for the thing that's going to make everything right, because there's that missing puzzle piece. So here's what you've got to do. It is never about information. It is never about knowing more. It is about the transformation of doing what you need to take back control and have your own power to end this at any time. So thinking that knowing more is the answer never fixed your problem. The idea of, oh, well, if I just knew enough and found this magic piece of information, then it's going to fix everything. It's about doing the action of what you need to do. That's what truly ends this. That's why we see women that have been in this cycle for 45 years able to end it in a matter of weeks. So one woman that came to us, it was 45 years for her, and about the 6-week mark of working with us, she was done and free and has been for years. And everything in her life has changed. And that's because she stopped just looking for more information, and she started doing the actions of what she needed to do to truly change her brain. Because your brain is changing all the time. And when you have the guidance to know the right things to put into place so that you can wake yourself up in the moment and change that pattern in your brain so you don't want to binge anymore, that's when you're in complete power. And that's when you can be absolutely done. Think of this in all sorts of different examples in life, you guys. It's never about knowing more. It's about doing what you need to do. It's like riding a bike. You can spend 10 years reading every single book and every single podcast about the right way to ride a bike. And, oh, if you're feeling this way when you're riding a bike, this is what you've got to do. And this is how you ride a bike really well. You can watch 24 hours of YouTube videos of other people riding bikes and how they're so great at riding bikes. And wow, all about riding bikes and how a bike is made and the history of bikes and why we have bikes in the world. You can be a bike expert, and that doesn't change your skill of riding a bike. You can watch 30 hours of YouTube videos about how to ride a bike, or you can have the actual experience of being on a bike and physically riding it and doing what you need to do. And you will learn more in the first 10 seconds about what you need to do than you would have in watching tons and tons of videos. It's about knowing what to do and then actually putting that into practice with what works. Think of it like the women in our program, right? Like all of these hundreds of women that are now free, they've known so much. We have literally had people with their degree in neuroscience about eating disorders. And they came to us because it never fixed their problem to know more. We've had women that are multiple women. This is a very common kind of woman that comes to us that are therapists who specialize in eating disorders. They literally have a PhD in how to help other people with their eating disorders. And they come to us because they still have their eating disorder. How much more are you going to know? I mean, that's way more than 10 free ebooks. I mean, that's $100,000 and a PhD, and it still didn't end their eating disorder. There's no amount of information that is going to make it click. It's about doing the practice to actually end this all the way. And the women that we work with get results so quickly because they're putting these things into action. So if you think it's about making it click, what you really need to know is that that can be an endless journey. And there will be highs and there will be lows, but more information never fixed anyone's problem. Never. Think of all the people who know exactly what they need to do. If you talk to anyone who's been married and divorced 5 times, they know exactly how to have a wonderful, thriving, lasting marriage. But it's not about what you know. It's about doing the things and putting those things into action and having the guidance. And if you guys are lost on what to actually do, the action to be in, that's why we have a free session that is available for you. You can go to lifewithlydia.com/apply. Again, that's lifewithlydia.com/apply. And you can book a free session with our team where we will get the clarity that you need to get you on the right path. The foundation for freedom is taking the action, actually getting on the call, actually getting the foundation for freedom that we can provide for you. When we know exactly what's going on for you, then we can point you in the right direction. We can help you to know what to do. But we've got to know what's happening in your world. You've got to be clear on that. And that foundation of freedom is that clarity. So then we can know exactly what steps need to be taken in action to get you to the place that you want to be, which is free for the rest of your life from this food struggle and to not have an eating disorder anymore. So again, this is Lydia, the lifestyle coach. So fun to see all you guys on, and I am signing off. Mwah. Bye, guys.